Let's move on to our final main topic today. And our final main topic today gets submitted to us by James C., who writes, looks like the Power Rangers are headed back to the big screen once again. The Hollywood Reporter reports that Hasbro and Paramount already have a script and director for their movie with an interesting Back to the Future element to it. Is third time a charm? All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yes, we found out a while ago that Hasbro, and full disclosure to everybody, I always like to give this disclaimer, Hasbro is a company that is responsible for half of my household income. So just that's a full disclaimer on there. Fuck Hasbro for how they did the Transformers, but whatever. Hasbro is a company that is responsible for half of my household income. I just want to give that disclaimer and get that out of the way so everybody's aware of it. Anyway, Hasbro purchased the rights to Power Rangers, and they said when they did that we plan to execute Power Rangers in every form, in toy, in television, in whatever other medium, including movies, they said. Now, when they said movies, it got a lot of people wondering, are they going to do a sequel to the 2017 Power Rangers? Of course not. That movie flopped hard. Of course they're not going to do a sequel to it. And by the way, that was a movie I actually didn't mind. I poo-pooed on that Power Rangers movie for a year before it came out, and then I watched it and I'm like, you know what? Give them credit. I actually had a pretty good time watching that. Didn't think that would happen. But to nobody's surprise, it also flopped. So it looks like, nope, they are now making plans. They're moving forward, and it is going to be another incarnation, another reboot of this thing. This is what it said in the Hollywood Reporter. Now in Paramount's court, Power Rangers is getting rebooted once more in a way that hopes to bring the franchise to its roots. The story is said to involve a time travel element that brings the kids to the 1990s, and in Back to the Future fashion, they have to find a way to get back to their present. Patrick Burley, who wrote the upcoming Peter Rabbit 2, which looks terrible, by the way, The Runaway, is penning the script. That's from the Hollywood Reporter. Now, of course, they do have also a writer or director in talks, but it's not signed yet. They have a director in talks, but that is not signed yet, just so we're all aware of that. I'll tell you what. I like this. I think this sounds like a good direction for them to go. And by the way, I think they're going to take it a little bit more kid-targeted this time around. The last time around that they did Power Rangers, Rob, while I enjoyed it and I liked it, they were going more of the teen, angsty YA novel kind of approach to Power Rangers, which, while I enjoyed it, I didn't love it, but I had a good time with it. It did move away from its roots and being just really more kid-targeted. I feel like under the stewardship of Hasbro, they're going to do this thing in such a way that will be less appealing to me, but I think ultimately more successful, which is getting it back to being a little bit more kid-targeted. Now, that doesn't mean I'm expecting Barney the dinosaur version of it, but again, a little bit more kid-targeted. So I think this sounds interesting. Rob, you're looking at this. What do you think about this development?
I mean, Power Rangers, it's interesting because I just recently watched the Power Rangers episode on the Toys That Made Us that's on Netflix. Really interesting where the Power Rangers came from, how it was developed, how it took a really long time for Chaim Saban to get anybody to bite on Power Rangers. He was the visionary that figured out a way to do it. And for 8 years, he couldn't get it done. But I don't necessarily know if Power Rangers, in our post-MCU and DCU and all the movies that we're getting, maybe Power Rangers is past its expiration date as a franchise. I mean, it is a product of its time in terms of, and of course it has a rich history in Japan that goes back decades. But that said, I'm also a firm believer in if you've got a great story to tell and you've got a great take on it and the story is well executed, you can get people to watch anything. I wouldn't have thought a movie like Creed would have worked, but you had the right director, the right screenwriter. He really had a vision for it and did something I thought was amazing, reinvigorating the Rocky franchise. And maybe we'll see that with Power Rangers. And if they're confident, I know Hasbro wants to step up their production arm and make more stuff. So it's within their best interests to make something great. So maybe they know something I don't know. And I'll be, look, if it's great, and this sounds, I love time travel movies, and if you're going to go back to the original Power Rangers shows, that could be kind of cool, and show all the different generations of Power Rangers, that could be neat. Be like having all the Ultramen in one of the Ultraman movies. That's a Japanese thing, but it'll be interesting to see if it, you know what, John, I'll watch it. I'll go see it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have thought so before, but because I like what they did the last time, I'll check it out too. This is why it's important, guys. It's cool to have your prediction before a movie, whether it's going to be great, whether it's going to be bad, whether it's going to be a hit, whether it's going to be a flop. It's cool to have our predictions, but then when the movie comes out, you got to leave your baggage at the door, go in, and then judge it on its own merits. Don't judge it on your predictions. And that's why every once in a while I can come out and be really pleasantly surprised. You know what? That was pretty fun.
And I like the fact that they're talking about they have a script.
Yes.
It's not like something they're going to try and throw something against the wall and make it stick. They have a script, which means they have a story. And if they have a story they're willing to bet on, that's the most important thing when it comes to movies that are upcoming. As long as I know they've got somebody thinks we have a good script, we're going to make this movie. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
So let's wait and see what happens. Question is, guys, are you excited about this? Do you think this is interesting? Do you think they'll move a little bit more kid targeted to be more traditional? Do you think they'll continue on with the kind of the YA angle that they went with the last one, which I think actually turned out pretty well, even though the movie flopped? What do you guys think? Jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.